Good morning. Welcome to Satterwhite Live. I'm Blake Linton.
We're up here now.
I'm looking at it alongside Josh Thomas. And we are here today to talk to you about choosing your land part 2.
So we started that a couple weeks ago, I guess, and but that's a big topic and a lot of stuff we want to go over, so we're going to rehash the rest of that.
A lot of stuff to go over. Josh, go ahead and let everyone know our statement of beliefs here at Satterwhite Log Homes.
Most definitely. We at Satterwhite Log Homes are Christians. We are not ashamed of our faith. We kneel to God only and no man. We love America. We love the Constitution. Follow that strictly. We stand proudly for the pledge and for our national anthem. We're proud of our flag, our military, our law enforcement and first responders. We revere our founding fathers and our Constitution, and we will fight to the death for our families, our country, and most definitely our God.
All right, thank you, Josh. We touched on a lot of things last week. Choosing the right piece of property can definitely increase or decrease your budget. I mean, it has a huge impact on the price of your project. So,
Yeah, that's like we talked about last week, last time, just to reiterate, people come in and they want to know what's this house going to cost. Well,
right.
If you don't know this part going in, it can be 50% of the cost. It can be double. It's just you can't overstate how important.
And especially in these days and times, land is expensive. I mean,
right.
it really, depending on where you look, of course, land is outrageous around here at least. So let's just talk about a few things. I know we touched on it, but.
Do you have the clicker?
No, I don't have the clicker. Are we going with the slideshow, Danny, or we just? No, okay, we're just talking.
Okay.
All right, one of the major factors on the front end about the cost of the property is it developed property or is it undeveloped? And we talked about it last week. On developed property, you're going to have.
Yeah, I mean, what does that even mean? Tell them what that means.
I was fixing to. So.
I love this guy.
Developed properties are going to have your underground electrical, sewer, utilities,
yeah.
all that stuff, your internet, and everything's going to be brought to the site already. So, you're going to pay a lot more on the front end because you're not going to have those costs on the back end. Undeveloped property, that's probably the most not convenient, the most common would be undeveloped property. That's just raw land where the costs are going to be put on you to build the roads, get the electrical in there, get the plumbing in there, get the internet.
And we're not talking about just from your property line to the house pad. We're talking about to the property line. Sometimes you're having to pay to get these things just up to your property. Not to mention getting it down in your property to your house site.
Absolutely. So that brings us to those locations are going to affect the cost to get those utilities in there, and it's also going to affect things like your insurance cost.
Oh yeah, distance to fire hydrants, those types of things.
Distance to fire hydrants, distances from neighboring properties,
fire stations,
volunteer fire departments.
Right.
I'd say probably more often than not, our houses are built in areas with volunteer fire departments,
right.
And that can definitely affect your insurance costs. So, what are some gotchas that you come to, Josh, on developing on property selection?
Well, I'd say the biggest is foundation costs. So there's a couple ways to go at it. You can develop a plan, like a house plan, have a design,
right.
And then just whatever your property you find is, you make the property suit that house plan. But I think a better avenue is to determine your land, or at least determine or where it's going to be on the land, and then work from the house plan from that.
Right, and that especially when you're talking about a basement.
Mm-hmm.
If you're wanting to have a basement on your house, you definitely want to pick a spot that has a lot of fall. Pick a piece of property that's either. It doesn't have to be on the side of a mountain, but
right.
You got to have some sort of hillside or something like that.
Or conversely, if you're going to build on a lake or something,
right.
Think about foundation costs. What it's going to take if a lot of times lake property is sloping. Building some sort of level foundation off of that.
Absolutely. You also want to check your easements, HOA restrictions on developed properties. 9 times out of 10, you're going to have an HOA that you're going to be responsible for.
Yeah,
and-
adhering to, setbacks, how close you can build to property edges, how close you can build to the property front, sometimes to the back or to the waterfront if
Right.
you're on Corps of Engineer land or anything like that.
Absolutely. And, before you purchase that property, if there is, you need to find out if there's an HOA restrictions, get a copy of those restrictions, because they're going to probably require you to have a certain amount of stone, or the garage can't face the street. All things like that are things that you need to know before you purchase the property.
Yeah, can't have a carport, just any numerous things. But
Right.
Once again, this is just high-level stuff for you to think about. And if you have any questions, we're here to help. General contractors in your area are there to help. All of our locations, those types of things.
Absolutely. So, that brings me to one thing: septic systems. In the state of Texas, if you're building on more than 10 acres and you're the only house on that property, you can do a standard septic system. If not, you would need to have an aerobic system, which will increase your costs some too. That's just, we're kind of spitballing it, I guess, thinking of stuff that comes to my mind.
Yeah, but just trying to think of things that people who don't deal with it every day just don't think about. Right. Think more about insurance. Who's going to service those areas?
Right.
Something that came up on even my house was trees around the house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, those are all things that can affect your insurance rates. So.
Right.
And we've got a guy that we work with on insurance, on home insurance. If you want to give us a call, we'd be more than happy to give you his name and number. He specializes in rural properties and not necessarily log homes, but he also does log homes and conventional
Fred
homes.
Roberts.
His name's Fred Roberts, and he's with TXINS Insurance.
He lives in one of our houses, so he knows the ins and outs. Don't let that deter you. That's another topic.
And he covers all the states that we build in, so he's a great resource to have. Josh, what else we want to talk about?
Tell me a little bit about the role of title insurance in title companies.
Okay. Actually, I don't know too much about title insurance companies. What you know about it? You tell them.
Well, if you're going through a realtor, through a title service, they're going to do the due diligence. They're going to make sure that there's no outstanding liens or ownership disputes with previous owners. Sometimes if it's like a brother-in-law deal, or if you're going through what do they call that? For sale by owner. Yeah. Sometimes those things might fall in your lap, but these are all things to consider. You definitely want title insurance to make sure that whenever you get a mortgage or if you're purchasing something outright, that you're going to get the rights to it free and clear.
Well, you did know more about that than I did.
I'm pretty smart.
Yeah, you are. Okay.
I didn't come as snazzy as him. You see, he didn't give me the memo that we're going to dress up today for the thing.
I just feel like we owe our audience to be dressed up. You
look pretty snazzy.
Danny, do you have anything you'd like to add? You're rattled. Okay. We had a few technical glitches this morning, so we're kind of shooting from the hip on a few things. But as always, guys, if you have any questions, we love to hear your comments. We love to hear recommendations on further subjects that you want us to cover.
Questions that you've got that we can answer for you.
That's the best way to do it. I mean, if you'll just drop us a comment of what you want us to talk about. We don't know everything, but we can certainly do some research and find out the answers to it.
We could definitely struggle through it.
Yeah, we can struggle through it. So,
hey, before we say goodbye, let's look at the questions. I am monitoring chat, and so
okay.
Starletta Myrick, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Do you build tiny homes?
Yes, we do build tiny homes. We've got about 70 different floor plans on our website. But we are also completely custom. I think our smallest one is 392 square foot.
So it's advertised.
Yeah.
But yeah, our designers can draw you anything that you want. We can build anything you want. We're building to suit on your property, so.
Or if you've got something from another source, bring it to us.
Yeah, or if you've got a sketch on a piece of paper, we can build you one, or we can get you a material package.
Yeah, we don't want you to think that you're bound to the plans that we have on our website.
For sure.
We are completely custom.
For sure.
I'm not seeing anything from YouTube. But and that's it for Facebook right now. We're going to try to do better, folks, about monitoring our social media and engaging in chat.
Absolutely. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop us a line.
We appreciate you tuning in with us today. Love to have ideas. We'll see you again next Thursday with either one of your ideas or one of our ideas.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you next Thursday.
God bless.